Hello and welcome to this week's coffee vlog. So it's Friday the, what is it? 15th of November. Heading home at 20 to 6. Ooh, oh yes, as usual, I'm tired. Nothing new there. It's been another busy week. Oh, just missed the lights. Yeah, another busy week at work. Last weekend was not so busy, I don't think. Was it? It might have been. Kind of busy. Did a bit of shopping on Saturday and then I took the boy and his friends to Aerobounce. Trampoline in Bradford. We had a good session there.
Warning, K-band, radar, check speed.
Sunday didn't really do a great deal, to be perfectly honest. And just like a relaxing day. Why not? And then back to work Monday, and yeah, like I say, it's been a busy week. Lot of coffee roasting to do again. Keeping up with orders. Christmas market kicked off, and despite the soggy start for them, not the best. They still put an order in, so not sure how this week's going to have played out. It's not been much better weather-wise, really. Been pretty wet, windy, cold, miserable, not going out places weather. So done a bit of a steady start for him, and that's going to cause me problems because I'm going to have to try and keep juggling how much stock I hold to supply him, because I don't want to end up with loads at Christmas that he hasn't used. So we'll wait and see how we get on with that, and just hopefully I can keep topping up without going mad. Oh, very tired. So yeah, that's been happening, and just the general, you know, bits and pieces of work, really. Nothing super exciting, just getting on with orders as they come in, really. Of course, preparing for Christmas, made sure we've got Christmas closing on the website. Then where's that one coming from? We've got email newsletter, and then we got some leaflets to go in with orders as they go out, reminding people that we shut between Christmas and New Year, just so they know, and no one can say, oh, I never knew, when they ring up on Christmas Eve and say, this guy's going to cut in at the last minute. Betcha. Oh yeah, knew it. See that coming a mile off. So yes, just trying to get everyone up and running with that. Done an email as well to all our email subscribers for the web shop, so they know. And yeah, it's been going well. Christmas coffee blend's gone well, actually. That's loads of people ordering that, so that's quite good. I'm gonna have to roast some more of that Monday. I could have done that today, but I had too many other things to roast to add that onto the list. A bit of an all of a sudden. So yeah, that side of it, everything's going well. Not watched anything on the night particularly, except bits and pieces of Killjoys, still getting through that series, but nothing else of interest. And just been plodding along with Steam Blockchain, doing little bits and pieces. Pulling here. Oh. So yeah, little bits and pieces, but nothing too exciting. Oh, I've got right in the light again. So let me go and drop my parcels off, and then I'll come back and do Mr. Ellis's words of wisdom if he sent me any. I've not looked, maybe not, who knows. Right, catch you in a minute. Okay, parcels delivered. Not finding any words of wisdom from Mr. Nellis. So we'll just get on our way back home. Hooray. So yeah, interesting thing happened on Monday night, just here at this junction actually. The lights changed before I got to it and I had to stop there. I actually stopped before the junction because someone was hanging right out over it and I didn't want to run into them. And the lights had gone red anyway, so I stopped early there at the junction so they could pull out. And when I was there, a Royal Mail big rigid wagon pulled up alongside me because he was going to Hippodrome in the outer lane. So the guy who was already hanging halfway across the road went, and another car went behind him, and this third car, a blue BMW, pulled up but stopped at the junction line, the giveaway line, which I thought was a bit odd because normally what people do when they're being let out like that, they get right across, and then the traffic they want to merge into to go into Halifax up the hill can see that they're waiting and someone will be nice and let them go. Whereas if you just wait at that line there, all those cars coming along, you know, they know you might be wanting to go uphill, or you just maybe falling asleep in your car, who knows what you're doing, but you're not really giving anyone an indication of your plans. So this is a bit of a strange thing. So the car sat there and our lights changed to green, and obviously the cars just still sat there and like, well, not going anywhere, are they? So Mr. Royal Mail van has obviously got stuff to do, and that stuff isn't sitting around waiting for people to decide whether they're going to pull out or not. So he sets off, and I'm about to go, and then the car starts moving across. I was like, well, that's pretty useless, because now you're going to block me in because all the cars up to the side of me are going and they won't let you go. And you know, why did you move when the traffic at the side of me is moving? I know I hadn't, but I was still kind of just sat thinking, well, why hasn't this car moved? So it starts going, and it keeps going, and it drove straight into the side of the Royal Mail wagon that had set off. And I was just like, what on earth? Why would you do that? I can only think they were so intent on looking at the traffic coming the other way, well, coming into Halifax, that they were trying to find a gap for. They hadn't even thought of checking our way, and then once they'd seen an approaching gap, just set off to go, somehow not noticing a great big red Royal Mail wagon was right in front of them, and drove into it. Yeah, so that happened. I mean, literally drove into the side of it, that the Royal Mail wagon started to pull the front of it under and started dragging it at an angle before the driver obviously realised he had a car attachment to the side of his vehicle. And then they stopped. So I bravely pulled around the back of the car that was now stranded under the wagon and drove off home, because it was pretty like, I've been to Ellen's already to do a delivery to the Ellen Craft and Tap, part of Ellen Brewery, their bar, because we do the coffee for Ellen Brewery's coffee porter, and then dropped some coffee off for them. So I was on my way back and it was like gone 7. I wasn't really in the mood for messing about, and to be perfectly honest, I mean, it's not like I was needed there as a witness to a accident, because, you know, there was no doubting the blame. It's the person who drove into the side of the Royal Mail wagon's fault, because they drove into the wagon. I mean, there's no way you can get around oh, that Royal Mail wagon shouldn't have been there, because he should. His lights had gone to green. He was perfectly in his right to keep going. And the person who ran into him just should have waited until the next turn. So, yeah, that was interesting. I've no idea how it all panned out in the end, but like I say, I wasn't particularly in the mood for hanging around and finding out either. Now, interesting, the speed camera beepy thing. So, Chris UK, formerly the Batman, on Steam blockchain, and member of multiple Discords, he sent a real funny video the other night. It seems to be an Indian rally. It's sort of inside the rally car with the rally driver and the co-driver. And the co-driver, it's really funny. What I'll try and remember to do is to leave a link to that video in below this one in my little notes bit or whatever it is that they have. I'll leave that so anyone who wants to go watch it, because it is hilarious. And basically the co-driver's just frantically shouting all the time, Samir, slow down, you're wrecking the car, what are you doing, Samir? Stop it, you are going to break the car. Oh no, Samir, don't do it anymore. Where are you going? What are you doing, Samir? Stop it. It's just hilarious. It's just like that. And the rally driver is just completely oblivious. He's just driving through everything. He's going through the tape barriers and over boulders and through shrubs and trees and goodness knows what, and bouncing over all sorts of lumps, and just generally is making his own path. And he's going to get there whatever it takes. So that was pretty hilarious. Interestingly, last week, I think I uploaded the vlog. I don't know if was it Sunday. I might have done it Saturday night and made it live Sunday. I can't remember now. But Sunday I was going to upload my vlog to DTube as well on the Steam blockchain. Oh, that's, do you know, it's amazing nowadays. Probably the best business you're going to be in nowadays is body panel repairs, because the amount of people just crash into stuff or just wildly throw the cars around places without paying attention. So I was trying to upload Sunday to DTube. Absolutely took forever. It just kept, every time I tried to upload it, it'd either just get stuck and hardly upload it, or it just wasn't doing anything. It wasn't even trying to upload. Tried it on 3 different browsers, 2 computers, you know, just to rule out every possibility, and it just wasn't having it. Eventually I got it to work on Safari on the Mac Pro. Sorry, MacBook Pro, not Mac Pro, I haven't got one of them. And it did finally upload it all, and it created the posts, but the sort of thumbnail for the video didn't populate, which I thought was odd, but it does that sometimes, and I manually put it in. But then when I went to actually view the video itself didn't work either, but it had generated the post. And even more obscurely, I got all the upvotes from DTube and its related trail and things for creating a DTube video, but it didn't actually produce the DTube video for anyone to enjoy. So I actually ended up putting the YouTube link in as well, just to show I had done something and not just. And to be fair, I'd written a bit as well. I mean, it wasn't just a video link. There was a bit of content and writing, and I did a bit about Steep Monsters completing the Kickstarter. So on the whole, you know, it was a reasonable amount of content for the reward I got in the end. Let's try and sneak around here. It's not helping. God, cars everywhere. So yeah, it was a pretty reasonable post, and I got pretty good rewards for it in the end. It's the shame that the video, you know, didn't work, but there was some problem because it wasn't loading for ages. So hopefully this week it'll work, and YouTube can purvey my blog to all the Steamians who are desperate to watch it, of course. Right, back home, Mr. Nellis, I'm afraid you didn't send any words of wisdom, so I couldn't do them. So we'll see what happens next week. Right, have a good week and weekend and week next week. Catch you next week's coffee vlog. Okay, see ya, bye.